everybody could do it, then they would, which is why it's always difficult to try and be fit and healthy and lose weight. But it doesn't mean that you can't. I think anybody can do it. You just have to figure out what are the things that make you eat, whether it's boredom, sitting in traffic for a long time, maybe it's stress, maybe whatever it is. So my story is basically, I was a complete geek at school. I did not do sport. I was not athletic. The athletic gene does not exist in these bones. I did try though. I tried netball, I tried hockey. Eventually I ended up doing cross country because it just involved running in a straight line generally, and no balls, no bats, no funny equipment. And even that I didn't quite get right. So you would find me singing in the choir, doing drama, doing debating. I was part of the wildlife club. Yeah, so big geek. But I always admired the discipline that came with being an athlete, and I always wished that I could be one, but didn't think that I would ever be able to be one. And like most girls, when you're at school, you struggle with body image and that sort of thing, and I was generally quite overweight, and my weight fluctuated from being small to being big throughout my teen years. And eventually I got to a stage where I said, well, enough is enough, and I need to do something about this. And I've always loved being healthy, I've always loved going to the gym, but I've never always had a good relationship with food. And for most people with an addiction, you stop it completely. You stop smoking, you stop taking drugs, you stop drinking, you never touch the stuff again if you are a recovering addict. But for someone with an eating disorder, it's a little bit more difficult because you still need to eat. And it's something that you have to do every day. And every day when you wake up, you have to make the choice. So just like any other addict would have to wake up and make a decision to say, today I'm going to be clean, I'm not going to touch alcohol, I'm not going to touch a cigarette. For me, I have to wake up every morning and make the decision to be healthy and make healthy choices. So it is difficult. But I got to a stage in my life when I was tired of my weight fluctuating and then losing weight and putting it back on again. And I started following these fitness athletes, and I started to be intrigued by this industry and decided, well, I want to compete, I want to be on a stage, I want to do that, I want to look like that, but I didn't think it was possible. Eventually I got a trainer, I started training, but I wasn't seeing that six-pack, I wasn't seeing those biceps and triceps and tone in my legs, and eventually asked me, well, what are you eating? And I was probably eating for an 8-year-old girl. That's the best way I can describe it. Wasn't eating nearly enough, and my body needed food. My muscles needed fuel, because your muscles can't grow if you're not going to give it any fuel. So eventually he referred me to some people who were part of the industry, a nutritionist and a bodybuilder, body morphology, and they put me on this eating plan. And I kid you not, I literally saw muscles that I'd never seen within 2 weeks of doing this, and I realized how important eating is. You can train 6-7 days a week as hard as you want, but if you're not eating the right food, you won't see the results. So I saw the results, but again, I reached a plateau and decided, well, I want to take it to the next level, I want to compete. And I did a 100-day challenge. So for 100 days, I committed to training 6 days a week, twice a day, eating clean for 100 days. And for 100 days, completely clean eating, never missed a workout, Monday through to Saturday, twice a day. My body fat went from 22 or 23 to 13.5. My weight didn't drop that gradually, probably 5 or 6 kilograms, but I lost a lot of centimeters. So completed my 100 days. I ended up coming second place in the best physique category. And then shortly after that, I decided, well, I'm gonna do my first competition. 6 weeks later, I hopped onto stage in a bikini. Mind you, never wore bikini ever, not even on the beach. And there I was in the tiniest bikini on stage with lights and cameras and the whole shebang. Having a full-time job, having a personal life with a family and a boyfriend, and then still being able to train twice a day. When I thought about it and I committed to it, and I looked back and I thought, 100 days, how am I gonna do this? You actually realize how much time you were wasting before you did that. So it means making sacrifices, obviously, going to bed early, being a lot more organized. And what I realized is, like, I'm a single woman. Yes, I'm working and everything, but I met so many moms who were doing the exact same thing that I was doing. So some of them were even single moms, some of them did have husbands, but they had full-time jobs, they had kids, and for them, they had to cook 2 separate meals. So they cooked their food, and they cooked their husbands and their children's food, and they had to get to gym, but they still did it. So for me, when it comes to your health, time is one excuse you cannot use. Yes, things happen, yes, things are stressful, but you have to make the time, you have to make it a